Hey guys, Chase, and today I just want to share with you how I built my Subaru desk. I guess it could work in any car camper, but recently when I converted my car over into a mini camper, made a video about that, showing off a lot of the pieces, and I've gotten a lot of comments about this desk. And so I just want to share the thought process that went into it and why I did it. So on the side, I'm a photographer and videographer, and I find myself out on the road a lot, just traveling from location to location, and I'm also a student right now, and so I need places to work on my laptop to back up photos, videos, edit, or work on schoolwork. And so that can be a little bit challenging, especially this year when coffee shops are closed, or when you're just out in the middle of nowhere and it's just challenging to set up a laptop and work effectively. I'm not personally a big fan of actually putting a laptop on my lap. I find that after half an hour or so, my neck starts hurting from looking down. If you try to work out in the sun, it's a little bit bright, you can hardly see the screen, so that makes editing or other stuff like that challenging. So I just want a desk that I could use inside of my car whenever I needed to, and that's what I came up with. It's super simple, just a few supplies, doesn't take many tools to build, and yeah, I'll dive right into it. To start, you need a saw. I use a jigsaw, handsaw, can also work. Need a drill. If you don't have one of those, I have another option as well. A knife, pencil, some sandpaper, and a lighter. And for supplies, all you need is some extra scrap cardboard. I just get some big boxes at Home Depot. Some wood. I'm using this edge glue panel from Lowe's. You can also just use some plywood or any scrap you have laying around. Some paracord, 2 carabiners, and if you don't have a drill, some eye bolts. If you want to add a little sun protection like I do in my window, some Reflectix, in which I'll show you how to use that later. Okay, to start the build, the first thing that we need to do is move the seat into the position that we're going to be using it. This is my seat back here where I work, and when I stop, I just move the seat so it's leaned all the way forward, slide the head a little bit until it's about even right here with this post, and then now it's in position. All right, so now the seat's nice and forward, jump in here, and then I use my the big sheet of cardboard that you have to help basically draw up a template so that you can just transfer that over onto your wood and then cut it out there. So just take the piece, put it at about the height that you want it. I like the desk to be about 4 inches off of my legs, and then trace in the shape and use your knife to cut it out. And then that way you can kind of get the feel for how it's gonna be when it's finished, and make sure that you like the style before you cut the actual wood. All right, so now you take that cardboard cutout, put it on your wood, trace around it, get the curves so that they're correct to fit with your seat and your distance, and then you're ready to cut it out. All right, got it all cut out. I'm gonna check it to make sure that it fits right well, and it's looking pretty good. It's about right where I want it to sit. So we're good to go. I'm done cutting. All right, we got our piece all cut out, correct shape. So now I'm going to mark 2 spots on each side for the paracord to connect to help suspend it from the seat. So the first one I'm going to do over on the edge, about 3 inches off. And then the second one's going to be about 3/4 of the way out right before it starts to curve. Got the all 4 holes marked out, just kind of a rough location. They don't need to be exact. So now this is where, if you do have a drill, you're going to use this. Drill all 4 of those holes out, and if you don't, I'll show you what to do next. Whoops. If you don't have a drill, here is where these little screw eyes come in. And so basically what we're going to use these for is to replace these different holes. So these holes are the attachment point for the paracord into the board. And so instead of doing that, you can just drive these in. And if you have a small screwdriver, that can help get them going. You just put it through the eye. I'm going to do it on this scrap wood here. And then you just press it in and start driving. Once you've got in a little bit ways, put your screwdriver back through, and you can use that to drive it the rest of the way in. Once you got all 4 holes drilled or all 4 eyes in, it's time to just basically clean it up and prep it for the string and any sort of stain if you want that. Just gonna use some rough grit sandpaper and work your way down to smooth off the edges. Cool, so got all of the wood sanded down, so now got to use the paracord to make the hangers from the seat back. So start with, I just cut a long piece, probably about 3-4 feet long. I'll make a second one for the other side. So now I take the paracord, I'm going to start with the back, so just basically feed it down through here. And then on the other side, I'm just going to make a stopper knot to keep it from pulling back through the hole. Alrighty, there we go. Got the knot to keep it from going through on one side. I'm going to repeat it on the other side. Cool, so we got both strings tied in. So now we're gonna go into the car, take the carabiners with us, and tie the rest of it up in the car where we can adjust it for correct size. So back in the car, got these two strings connected. So now because I want it to sit right about there, I'm just gonna basically clip my carabiner onto my headrest and size this accordingly. So now I know I need my knot to be right there. So I'll just take that pinch point, do a simple overhand knot on a bite. Take this carabiner, clip it through. And now I'll test it. So when it's underweight, it sits about right there, right about where I want it. Gonna do the other side now. Okay, so now I've got both of my front string tensioned, so now I need to pick the level. If I want to angle towards myself a little bit, I can adjust for that. I kind of like it flat, about right there. So now I'm just basically going to feed the tail of this through this other hole. Like so. And then once I pick where I want it, I'll just kind of pinch that spot. So that's about right where I want it right there. So I'll pinch that spot, lean the table up, and then tie a knot right there. And this is going to be another stopper knot. Alrighty, that side's done. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Alright, got all the knots in place and we are good to go. It is nice and sturdy and easy to adjust. Now I'm just going to disconnect it and go clean up the ends, and I'll show you how to do it with the eyes. If we are using the eyes, it's basically just the exact same process, except for instead of going through the holes, just feeding it through there, and then you can tie it back to itself. So now I've got this all done here. I'm going to take and clean up the paracord ends. So I'm just going to cut off the tails. And then now I'm going to take my lighter and just kind of melt the ends a little bit, and that helps to keep them from fraying apart. And then one easy method to store this when it's not hanging up is just to flip these around to the back side like this and clip the carabiners together. Then it's nice and self-contained. There you have it. Nice simple table. Also, if you want to add some color to it, you can throw a layer of stain or some polyurethane or something to protect it. And then one last key tip for a little car office is to block out the sun. And so you can get the windshield protectors for the front, but to block out sun on the sides, I found that this Reflectix works really well. So this is just basically like an expanded foam tinfoil-y material, and it comes in rolls like this. It's nice, lightweight, pliable, and you just basically trace the shape of your window and then cut it out. And so this is the one for my window in the back there. And then you just press it into the window, and it's a nice way to block out the light so that you have a nice evenly lit shaded area to where you can work on your computer and see your screen well. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or other tips, please drop them in the comments, and I'll throw some links to any of these parts and pieces that I used in the description. Thanks.